Talking about food waste is important because food waste itself is a huge issue across the EU. We've heard about the 90 million tonnes of food waste that's thrown away every year. What we've seen over the last 2 or 3 years are some brilliant initiatives by different member states to tackle food waste, and this is one of the few occasions I'm aware of where we've got people together from different member states to share experience, learnings, and talk about what we can do at an EU level, but also how we can transfer good ideas from one country to another.
Well, such events are very important in terms of stakeholder networking. It's best practice sharing. It is important in order to speak to those actors in the supply chain, but also to politicians. For example, the Commissioner Potocnik has been here. So it's important to get the messages across and to really learn from each other and spread out the messages to the world.
Packaging is really important as part of our sort of suite of tools to help reduce food waste. I mean, it's obvious that you need packaging of some kind for most products to keep it safe, to keep it hygienic, to protect the product. And what we've seen in the UK is some really good innovation by the packaging industry and retailers and food manufacturers using packaging to extend the shelf life, to give functionality like reclosable packaging that means consumers can keep products fresher for longer. The use of new packaging materials to extend shelf life in conjunction with things like modified atmospheres is a huge step forward. Not everything needs to be packaged, and we don't want over-packaged food, but giving consumers those extra few days, that extra amount of time that they've got to consume the product, really important.
And we've also worked on like smart packaging materials such as foils that can actually read the microbiology of, for example, meat, which actually indicates then the freshness to the consumer more easily for him to say, okay, I take that food or I don't take it because I want to eat it tonight or it shall last for tomorrow.
If you look at Africa, for example, the sub-Saharan Africa, they have right now the food waste that could feed 48 million people. And this is the food, the post-harvest food losses that is rotting on the fields because they lack food packaging, they lack the infrastructure, they lack all that things that could create the food into the edible food, and that's why it rots.
The conversations that I've had and the evidence that I've seen definitely suggests that well-designed packaging, an increase in packaging of perhaps a couple of grams can prevent food waste that has a much bigger environmental impact. And I know the figure that's quoted is food waste has a 10-fold greater environmental impact than the packaging that surrounds it. So although I'm not an expert, I certainly agree with what I've heard. My key message would be that we've been tackling food waste in the UK for 4 or 5 years, and what we've seen is that an integrated approach, communicating to consumers, working with the food industry, working with the packaging industry, has had an impact. We've seen a really significant reduction, but there's a lot more to do. And so my key message would be, let's keep up the momentum. There's a lot more food waste to prevent.